the bull by the horns. Gonna move on to some policy stuff. And since I don't know how long people can stay on, I do actually have a question from one of the viewers, EJ. And so I'm going to ask because I think it's an appropriate question that I probably know the answer to. But he said, Gabe, I was wondering if you supported the ballot initiative a few years ago that would have ended late-term abortion in Colorado.
I think that was what was that? The due date too late, 2022.
I think that's the one. Yeah, that sounds right.
I am trying to remember how I voted on that one because my wife and I had some major discussions over that particular one. So if you don't know my story, yeah, I'm pro-life. I'm pro-life for a lot of reasons. Probably one of the most recent poignant ones is the fact that my wife and I, we've had 2 kids. We've also had 8 miscarriages. And so, I've seen the heartbeat, on the ultrasound machine. And then a few weeks later, when you go back for the follow-up visit, no more heartbeat. But also what I've learned through all of that is the Democrats just have this absolute fixation on abortion for any reason whatsoever, no questions asked, up to the moment of birth. In fact, they even go beyond that. The Democrat that I'm running against in this race, she voted, she's a big supporter of taxpayer funding for abortion. So she has voted against our military because she thinks that we need to be able to siphon more money away from the military and toward abortions. She's voted against veterans because she thinks we need to take more money away from veterans and use that to fund abortions. She's also voted against the Born Alive Act, which says that if a baby is born alive, a viable baby is born alive as a result of a botched abortion, she says that baby is not worthy of medical care even after they've been born alive. And so with my wife having had 8 miscarriages, like what I learned through that is pregnancy, Democrats love their buzzwords. They love the buzzword reproductive care. Democrats don't actually care about reproductive care. They don't care one bit that my wife would actually like to get pregnancy affirming care, that she would like there to actually be some funding for research available to go and figure out why it is that she's having all of these miscarriages, to figure out how she can actually carry a pregnancy to term. Democrats don't care about that. They use the buzzword pregnancy affirming. They're not actually interested in pregnancy affirming care. They just want to sell abortions for any reason whatsoever. And so, like I said, I honestly don't remember. I remember my wife and I were split on that issue, and I honestly don't remember how I voted on that, because we were having a lot of conversations about can my wife then continue to get pregnancy affirming care with all of the nuances. I mean, again, I'm not a woman. I know the difference between a man and a woman.
You're not a birthing parent?
Yeah, no. So there's a lot of just like that, like I know enough, but there's a lot of nuances to that female reproductive care stuff that my wife is sitting there trying to explain to me about how this stuff all works together. And there's a lot of doctors that she goes to that I don't go to because I don't got the right parts.
Right.
And so she's trying to explain to me like what happens at these doctor's visits. And I'm, at a certain point, I'm like, I'm just going to have to take your word for it. Because to me, that's what's most important is that we figure out how do we best protect life. And life, there's a lot of complexities to it, particularly when you get down into the realm of 8 miscarriages and figuring out, okay, how do I protect life in this particular situation? How do I protect life in that particular situation?